Hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA. It's Thursday, it's 8 p.m. What else would you be doing? You're joining me live. And the college football playoff semifinal is happening right now, but we're here. We're doing this live. This is better and more important. Last I checked, Notre Dame and Penn State are tied at 0. We're going to keep this one a little shorter and sweeter than usual. If you don't know me, college football is a lifestyle, and I love the BCS time, of course. I love postseason college football, and I'm certainly hoping for a much better game than what we've seen so far in the BCS. But want to take some time to connect with our friends and families. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're all enjoying the cold if you're on the eastern half of the United States, and probably the northern half as well. And to our friends on the West Coast in California, our thoughts and prayers are with you if you are in any way being impacted by these historic and awful and horrific wildfires. It's some scary stuff out there. And I know we get a lot of interest from candidates in California from all throughout the state. So if you happen to be viewing this video either live or the rebroadcast at Tim posts on our social media, just know we're thinking about you. We're praying for you. We just hope you're safe. Your families, loved ones, friends, and properties are safe. And let's hope this passes really quickly, because just the videos and photos from that, some scary stuff. And on to business. And we are real busy. You hear my voice raspy. The interviews have been coming at us fast and furious. By the way, before I forget, cell phone is on me. If you're watching live, 203-518-8408 is my cell. Text me any questions about anything Student Athlete World related, tour related, me related, or put in the chat. I have the chat open. And I'm actually going to answer a question this week because one did come. And there was a question about the interview itself. What do I have to do to prepare for the interview? And do you try to trip us up like it's a job interview? So that came. I confirmed an interview for tomorrow a little while ago, and the person who I'm interviewing followed up with that question. So I'm like, cool, that's perfect for this video. So what to prepare for the interview? So you understand our process. When you complete an application, there's 3 components. There are letters of recommendation, which I went over, I think, last week's video, if I'm not mistaken, which we ask you to get from a coach or a teacher or pastor, employer, etc. Someone who knows you as a leader, as a young adult, etc. We want a letter of recommendation. We ask for video. A highlight video is great. A video of you playing recreationally is fine. We just want to know that you have skill at the sport that you're applying for. And then the final step is an interview with me by Zoom, and they're awesome. But the interview is essentially about the traveler. And I do ask you a series of questions. And it's really designed for me to think to myself, will this individual and potentially their family make great travelers? I was on a tour a couple years ago, United World Games. We had 2 coach buses full of people. And everyone's got to get along. Everyone's got to be on time. So it's not just our teams have to come together, but our families have to come together. We travel a lot. We have a lot of wonderful experiences together. I've made friends on both of my tours, all 3 of my tours that I've done so far, that I'm still in touch with. And it's probably my favorite part of this job is relationships I create with our families. But the starting point is you as an individual and you as a family demonstrating to me and to Student Athlete World that you're going to make a great traveler for our tours. So is there a way to prepare? The answer is no, because I actually want you specifically to be yourself. Okay. And am I trying to trip you up? The answer is no as well. Something to point out that's very important. When I log in to interview with anyone, my goal is to say yes. This is my 26th year working with athletes in some capacity or another, college coach, high school coach, administrator. My career has been making the dreams of young athletes come true. And this job has been my favorite and happiest manifestation of that. So my goal when I meet with a family is to turn around and say, yes. So I don't want to trip you up. I want to take you. And so I'm going to ask you some very specific questions that, I'm interested to hear what you have to say. But this is not a job interview. And, I'm going to ask you questions about things like trying new foods. And I pose a very specific hypothetical about that. So, I've had candidates recently who are really nervous about traveling with us. And I want to assure you about traveling. I'm sorry. Nervous. I wish I can edit this video. Not nervous about traveling with us, nervous about interviewing with me. This is going to be a fun interview, hopefully. I've enjoyed them. It's my favorite part of the job beyond our actual traveling. What I want you to do is really be yourself so I can get to know you as a potential traveler. And for the most part, we get wonderful kids and families. The interviews this year as a whole have been the best during my 3 years. Just wonderful people, most of which are coming on tour with us, some of which are not. And, there have been text messages a couple times with families who aren't coming. Hey, come next summer. You're such great people. We want you to tour with us, things like that. So I hope that anyone out there who's watching this, who has completed your application but not yet scheduled your interview because maybe you're a little nervous about it. You're in the middle of, say, your basketball season, your hockey season, or you're doing a preseason like lacrosse training, and you're so busy and you're stressed and there isn't that much time, and maybe you're a little nervous or anxious about this. Don't be. I think these interviews are fun. I enjoy them. I look forward to them. Some days I have so many that my voice goes like today, and it doesn't matter. I love them. So please finish your application, get those interviews set up so we can send you around the world and continue my passion for working with young athletes and making their dreams come true. So that's kind of the business end of the week. And then there's what in the world. And, I'm just going to basically call out a bit of a singular franchise for what in the world. And so this week's sponsor is the New England Patriots. Now, there are certain football programs I like to knock on. Wisconsin football. I'm not going to go into why. You just need to know the company. Hi, Tim. The New England Patriots I enjoy taking shots at because, as you may know, my team of choice is the New York Football Giants. And yes, we've had a rough patch, and next year probably will be just as rough, if not rougher. But the New England Patriots were the 2008 and 2012 Super Bowl runners-up to the New York Football Giants. And I don't understand them. And I've kind of never understood the Patriots. And I live in Connecticut, for anyone who doesn't know. I live in the southern tip of Patriots country, even though I think it's Giants country. But anyway, they had Bill Belichick with this unbelievably successful run, Hall of Fame coach, Tom Brady, arguably the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, just an incredible run. It came to an end, and rightfully so. It was time. They replaced him with his heir apparent. And understand that Bill Belichick's final season in New England, they won, 4 games? And which meant their team wasn't particularly good, right? Meaning talent-wise. So then they hire Bill Belichick's heir apparent. Didn't really upgrade the roster much, did not make a major change at quarterback. They have a young quarterback. They're kind of trying to break in. And this week they fired their coach after 1 season. So I do ask that question, what in the world? Like, I don't understand in a major sport, be it professional or high-level college, the practice of firing a head coach after 1 season, unless there are real circumstances, NCAA violations left and right, makes it understandable, like with cause. All right. But you had Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, praising the coach he just fired, saying he was in a tough situation. He's going to be a great head coach one day. They're just looking to move in a different direction. So my question is, how do you know this after 1 year when the greatest coach, arguably, in the history of the sport couldn't win there? So now a rookie head coach gets the job, and after 1 year you fire him. I don't understand that. Okay, I don't get that. And the equivalent I'll give is, look at Alabama. All right, Alabama, besides loving college football, I love SEC football, no matter which franchise we're talking about. I think football in the SEC, as much as the bowl season hasn't been overly kind to the SEC, just SEC football pre-NIL, let's just call it. I love it. And it's been fun. It was really fun watching Alabama under Nick Saban. And he retired, and they replaced him with a great coach, and they had a rough season. Not by Alabama standards by any means, but it was his first year, and you have transfer portal and NIL money, players coming and going as they please. So it was completely understandable that Alabama was going to take a step or two back. And look, they beat Georgia, and that was an epic game. They had a good season. I could still make the argument they should have been in the BCS tournament, even though they didn't make it. But you have to give this guy some time, right? And I know it is not completely uncommon to fire a coach at a high level after 1 year. I just don't get it. Like, what are you looking for? If you in the NFL especially, if you don't have a really good quarterback, you have no chance. The Patriots don't have one. I'm a Giants fan. All right. I'm almost forgetting who Eli Manning was at this point. It's been so bad. Very rarely do you have an NFL team that has an average quarterback or below average quarterback and they make the playoffs. And in New York, you have Aaron Rodgers on the Jets, and the Jets were every bit as bad as the Patriots. All right. So I just don't understand how you have a franchise put together a terribly flawed roster that is not going to win no matter who the coach is. And aside from complete dysfunction, they go and fire him after a year. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Somebody explain it to me like I'm in kindergarten. So that is what in the world this week. And I think you're all going to agree with me. I think it's a good one this week. So one quick program update for my diehards. There will be no latest spin 1 week from today. I am going to the thriving metropolis of Jay Peak, Vermont in a week for a youth ice hockey tournament. Wishing the best of luck to Yale Pee Wee Hockey as they compete in the Jay Peak tournament. Where is Jay Peak, Vermont? I have absolutely no idea. It's right next door to the middle of nowhere. I mean, I'm not doing this video mainly because I don't know if they have the internet where I'm going, people. So I don't want to go and schedule a latest spin and then disappoint you by being unable to do so because I have dial-up internet wherever I'm going. But one cool feature, a week from Sunday, I will be traveling the world, not with Student Athlete World, but I will be in Montreal, Canada, which is a stone's throw from Jay Peak, Vermont. And let's just say a certain hockey team that I root for passionately will be playing in Montreal while I'm there. So I think I'm just going to have to check it out. Excited about that. But it just reminds me that I have a chance to go internationally. Now, I've been to Montreal before, so it's not like going on tour with us to places I've never been. But I'm just super excited. This company has made me overly excited about traveling the world, and I get to do so again next week. So I'm excited to see Montreal, but I'm not excited to miss the video, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. And maybe I'll broadcast him a little impromptu international video from Montreal just because travel will be in the air. Maybe I'll come up with something cool and creative while I'm on my trip. We'll see about that. But we'll see everyone in 2 weeks. And as always, how do I do this? How do I do the coolest thing I've ever done? Travel the world, represent the United States in international sport competition, and see some amazing places. Only one way. Go studentathleteworld.com. Complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great time, everyone. And I hope these BCS playoffs are awesome. Going back to watch it right now. Take care.